Hello, how's it going? My subscribers and viewers, I have decided to make another video. This game was played in the Chicago Open of 2024. I was playing a 2100 player, and I had the white pieces. Um, I think this game is very interesting and instructive, and I can kind of highlight my ideas in this case study. So I go for e4, e6. We play the French winnower variation. And I go e5 here, knight e7, bishop d3. This is kind of coming back as a trend. The bishop is ideally placed before you develop the knight. And so it is not going to be locked in like in the normal winnower structures. He goes for c5, a3, and then we exchange. So knight h3, that is a possibility here for my next move. But as we shall see, I play a little bit more differently. Because what's interesting is I've had this position reversed as black. I don't think I've exchanged structures with bishops, but I went for the classical plan with b6. So he wants to play bishop a6, exchanging light square bishops. And so I go a4 here. My idea is if he's going to exchange bishops, then I'm just going to play bishop to b5, check. And if he takes, then I'll have the two squares of the knights controlled. And so he goes for this, bishop a5 check, and then we exchange. Now what has changed in this position? Well, white has gained the a file here. This knight, it can develop to d7, but how does it get anywhere else? Like how does it get to c5? How does it get to b6? Where is the best square for the knight if it goes to d7? And finally, this knight on e7 can't go to c6 to pressure the center. It's going to have to go to f5 here. And as we shall see, this may matter. So he goes for a5. And here I spent maybe at least maybe 15 minutes thinking here, like, is it better for me to exchange on a6 and then develop in bishop a3 later? Or do I keep that pawn there and let it kind of take up the squares for the knights? And then maybe later I can try to attack those queenside pawns or try to get a pass pawn, the b pawn as a passer after exchanging on c5. But here I decided to just go queen to g4. There's a weakness on the queen side. It's the g7 square. Why not attack it? And attack it while the queen side of black is not developed, and the black is probably going to have to castle king side at some point. So knight f5, and yeah, this knight has 3 developmental squares. For me, it's not really clear which is the ultimate square, but for me, it's most natural just to put it on f3 here, just to protect the center, and maybe I have knight g5 in some lines, which, but it seems more central with this move here. He goes knight d7. I don't know about this, if this is very precise, because where is this knight going? Is this going to any good squares? Is it going to g6? If it goes to g6, then the queen side is less defended. So I just castle here. He castles, and then I go rook e1, because rook e1 is discouraging any f6 ideas. White has to always be ready for that, because the position will just open up, and black will have some really good counterplay, usually on the f-file. But I just want to be prepared for any f6 ideas and develop my rook to a good square. So he goes rook c8, and he's technically threatening c2 here, which I kind of spent some time here and calculated a trap. There may be one imprecision that maybe I have missed, and the game would just be a normal game, but we will just go through it and see. So I go queen h3, he takes on d4, and technically the best move here for black, well, let's see. let people think about this for a little bit here, this position here. Um, but yeah, he takes on c2 here. And this was the mistake. I think rook c3 was a good alternative because he's threatening this d pawn. And yeah, this is a lesson for me. Like, I went over this with my coach, and yeah, he pointed out rook c3 was a really good move for black, and it's a normal game. So yeah, I don't know if I have to kick that rook or lose time in a certain way, but rook a3, I don't know, but yeah, it's not easy here. So he takes on c2, and I play for his g4 move. So now where does the knight go? If you go to h6, maybe I can take and play knight g5, right? Later. Like queen takes h6. I don't know. It's very, very, like, I haven't calculated that one through fully, but I would just take, and that's a natural move. Takes, queen takes h6, king h8, knight g5. Then I'm just winning. So he goes knight e7, and now I know knight g5 here, and he has to defend against this mate threat on h7. If he goes, well, there's no g6, there's no h5, so he goes h6, and then I double attack his rook and the h7 square. He blocks. I did briefly look at knight takes e6 if that's anything, and I mean, yeah, just briefly, but I mean, it's good to, for me, I'm always looking at these attack moves whenever I'm calculating, but yeah, it was bad, so I didn't, I mean, of course I didn't go for that. I just took, I saw from afar, and I just trusted it, and so I went for this move, the move that I saw from the far. And then he takes here, and now I'm trying to make sure his f6 moves don't work, his counterplay in the f-file doesn't work. He goes knight h4, I go rook e3, rook e8, rook c1, and then he goes f5 here. Because I have threats on the c-file, like if he doesn't play f5, yeah, like f6, I did calculate that deep from the far, I could ignore that, I think. Like, just go for the c-file, rook c3, and rook c8 is coming, probably. And so here, I could have went for my plan, and actually that was probably the best. For some reason, I kind of panicked and played king h1. But I think this, which I went over this with my coach, he points out this rook c8 move, and then this knight has no good squares. It's just dead. I didn't see this far in the calculation at all. Like, it's really dumb. Like, there's like some ghosts of like his king going to e7, defending the knight, hitting my rook, and the game goes on. But that's not actually a thing. So king h1, knight c5. That's a really good resource he played, and I could have made this easier for myself. Both one of my friends or compatriots, chess compatriots, and also my coach mentioned it's just easier to just take with the bishop. Bishop takes c5, d takes c5, rook takes c5. Kind of like this, right? Like bishop takes, and this is easy to play. White is better. The b pawn's gonna go home. But instead, I just took it with the d pawn. I calculated deep, and this is I don't know. I am always attracted to complications in these games. Like, I saw two moves of like f3, queen g2, or queen f2 from the far, and so I have rook g3, of course, f3. I think king g1 is probably what the engine recommends, and you still have to do the exchange check, and I guess white is still winning probably really strongly. But of course, I unfortunately always want more here, like, and there was some opportunity that he missed. I think he could have taken on f3, and I have to play something to block the discovery. Unfortunately, from the far, I calculated queen g2. Maybe rook g2 is better, I don't know, looking at it now, but or maybe I just got to take on I think it's take on f3, and then just go for that. Like it's complicated. Like rook takes f3, pawn takes f3, and but yeah, if I go for this is a way I could go wrong and made a mistake. Like take this pawn, and then he's got this, and I've got probably to just unfortunately give back some material here, and white's better, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's not easy. Maybe I guess I have some idea of like this maybe, but yeah, exactly. You can just go back like that, and I lose time. And yeah, I don't know. Black is doing great, or even he just has the rook f8 probably. I don't know, but yeah, in the game this happened. So he goes d2 here, rook d1, then he takes an f3, and then I calculated deep. I saw the threat of queen to b3 here, and so I have to take, and yeah, he smartly plays this move, which caught me a little bit off guard, but then I realized, like, you know, if I can try to force exchanging of queens, this could be a win. So yeah, I blocked the check, and then I just go for this endgame, and then I go king g2 because he's threatening rook f1, mating or queening, and then he goes rook 88. It is easy to just play rook e1 here, but I was calculating from the far, and I think I liked the idea of sacrificing my rook here. So like I just played king f2, because then after rook d1 I control this square with my king. This square is controlled by my bishop, and this square is controlled by my bishop. This square might be controlled by my bishop from the far. I think this is like just really interesting domination. But it is easier just to go for like a win, like with the v pawn, without sacrificing the rook. But I still went for this. He goes rook b3. I go king here, and yeah, he doesn't have anything. I was calculating in the game, like maybe this can buy him some time, but this still doesn't really change the valuation. I think I can still just push, and he could try some checks, but like rook f2, probably I have to go king d1, rook here, then king here, and then this bishop controls this square. So unfortunately he's got no good squares here. So he takes, I go c7, and then king c1 controlling the pawn's back square, and then my queen, and he resigned because I have ideas of pushing this pawn forward. And so yeah, that was a good game that I played. I mean, I've made a few weird moves, like where I made it too complicated myself, and there's some inaccurate play, but ultimately I'm very proud of this game. This is a win against like a 2200, so thought I'd share it with my viewers. So thanks for watching. Good luck with your chess, and bye for now.